Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I kind of want to give you guys a feel of what customers are truly like, because sometimes working retail isn't everything that it's put out to be. I mean, no one says that retail is easy, but still, I know a lot of my videos, I'm like, oh, go Publix, you know, this company is great, and I'm just talking about all these positive things. And although those things still do remain, you know, I'm not trying to contradict my word at all. I do think it's a wonderful company. Everything I say in my videos is always like legit, real, raw, from the heart. Publix does not pay me. I do not get sponsored. Like, this is just my honest opinion. I do want to let you guys know some things about the customers just to prepare you. I know a lot of people, or at least a lot of my subscribers, go to Publix as their first job. So obviously in life, alongside with a lot of good things comes the downfall and stuff. So I guess this would kind of be a downfall if you don't get the most pleasing customers, and it does happen. Now, this video obviously would be helpful for anyone who works retail, because this is just something that will happen anywhere you go, any job. You're always going to have one person who might not be so desirable. And I've covered this topic, kind of like how to deal with hateful managers, how to deal with coworkers, you know, who are also hating on you, or coworkers who don't get along with you. Like, I've kind of like covered the employee side, but I also wanted to cover the customer side, because believe it or not, even though truthfully, I mean, your biggest haters will probably be the ones standing right next to you, essentially being like, you know, your coworker or something. Oh, that's what makes noise in my videos. It'd be the dishwasher. Okay, sorry guys, a little side note. Sometimes I edit my videos and I'm like, what is that noise in the background? It's the dishwasher. Moving on, a lot of times your biggest haters will be, like I said, the ones right next to you, working with you, your coworkers, managers, all that. But we still get some very, very hateful customers, and thankfully the Publix I work at is in a pretty good area, so usually we don't see too much of this. But I know there's other stores that definitely do, and it's just kind of like, what do you do in that situation? Now, I'm very big on respect. You know, I'm not someone who just talks like, oh, I'm big on respect, and then doesn't show it. Like, anyone who knows me knows that I'm a respected person. You know, the way I carry myself, the way people talk to me or deal with me, or the just like the energy around me. I'm very big on respect. I feel like if you want respect, you need to give respect, and when you don't get mad at me when I lash out, because it's like you get what you give. So that's always been my mentality. I recently been hearing a lot of baggers say this, and it just caught my attention, and I was just like, obviously, what's the best way to reach everyone? Post a video. For my baggers, or just anyone who feels a little bit belittled while working in a company, regardless of what company it is, this video is for you. Because just because you work for someone else, just because you work in a big company, just because you're a bagger, and people tend to belittle that, like, oh, he's just a bagger, or oh, she's just a cashier, does not mean you need to tolerate people's stuff. So just go ahead and keep on watching, because I'm about to put you guys onto some game. I'm about to boost your self-esteem a little bit. I'm about to make you feel better about yourself. So let's go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below your current position, or if you're just watching this for fun, or how your day's going, or communicate with me, okay? And let's go ahead and get started. First thing is first, the other day, I don't know exactly what it is that happened at work, but after work, I DM'd this bagger. I'm sorry, I didn't DM him. I Snapchatted him, and I was like, was everything okay today at work, and whatnot, because I was actually in the pharmacy, so I was put aside from the situation, but I did see that he wasn't very happy, or he was like bothered by something. Sorry, by the way, for that background noise. I think it's what is that called? The sink? I think it's the sink, so if you hear anything, it's the sink. Anyways, oh, there we go, it stopped. I could tell that one of my bagger friends was just feeling, I guess, under the weather, and not in like the sick way. He was just feeling like down about himself, and I couldn't pinpoint what was wrong. Obviously at work, it's hard to talk about your personal matters, especially when you got so many ears around, you don't know who's listening. And I was also in the pharmacy, so I couldn't really like get that time alone with that person to ask genuinely if they were okay. So when I got off work, I remember I Snapchatted the person, and I will literally try to insert the Snapchat in the next slide. If you saw it, you see that he said he is just a bagger, so that what can he do, or who cares? So baggers a lot of times feel belittled or less than, or cashiers feel like they're not, you know, good enough. And a lot of times it comes from the public treating us like we're less than them because, oh, we're just baggers and we clean the floors and clean toilets, or and I say we because even though I don't work in that department anymore, or maybe that certain position because I still work in the department, but I say we because I've also been there. So I'm gonna categorize myself as it as well, because I've also dealt with the stuff that I'm talking to you guys about. I've dealt with people be like, oh, she's just a bagger, oh, she's just a cashier. And that is not the way to see things, and I take that personal. And when I see someone treat one of my other coworkers like that, I'm always first one to say something because I've been there. It made me feel bad, so you're not about to make my friend or my coworker feel bad, because it goes more beyond them just being, it goes more beyond than them just being your coworker or your friend, or like even if they're not genuinely your friend, it just goes more beyond, because it's like trying to prove a point. Like, why are you saying something? It doesn't matter. No person should feel belittled because of their job title. If you're a bagger working in this company, it doesn't matter your age. I mean, obviously, if the younger you are, definitely there should be no reason for you to feel that way. And if you're older, it should also not be any reason for you to feel that way. Everyone chooses what they want to do with their future. And if your future was that you chose to be a Publix bagger, that's fine. I know some people don't choose that future. Some people are just like, I'm just doing this temporarily until I can find someone else, or until I can find something else, or finish my studies, and that is also perfectly fine. And if you genuinely know that this is not where you're going to be in the future, why do you care for people who are telling you, you know, oh, so-and-so is just a bagger? That's not always going to be you. If you're a customer watching this video, if you like belittle anybody, that is not cool, because that affects them personally, like on a one-on-one level, and you never know what that person is going through at home. So always remember, sometimes, you know, Publix makes us and likes to hire people who have this happy persona and who are always peppy and stuff, but it does not mean that they're not going through things at home. Take me for example, literally take me for example. I sit here and tell you guys how good this company is. I sit here and I'm always smiling. I go to work always smiling. Like, you guys could tell, I know y'all could tell that, oh, she's a happy girl, she's a sweet girl. Like, I know what this portrays off the camera, but a lot of times I come home and I go through a lot. You know, I've sat here and cried. I just haven't been feeling like me. There's been days where I just like lock myself in my room. You don't know what someone goes through, and you don't know how words can affect someone. And maybe the person who you think it would affect the most, it doesn't. And then the person who you think it would affect the least, it does affect them. So please be mindful of your words and the way you say things. Nobody is better than anybody. And like I said, sometimes people are just taking certain steps to reach their final destination. It doesn't mean that being a bagger is their final destination. And if it is, that's okay. If your cashier is your final destination, that's okay. But a lot of times, if you know it's not your final destination, don't take these things to heart, because even though you guys are probably like, bro, tell the customers to stop saying them rather than to tell us to not take it personal. I could tell them all day to not say these things. At the end of the day, people are gonna say whatever they want. So you need to know to not take these things too hard. You need to know to like brush these things off so it doesn't like break you down. Because a lot of times that's what they try to do, because they're mad at their life, or they're mad at something that's going on in their house. So even though they should not be saying that, and I encourage nobody to ever be rude to someone, but there will be people who don't care, and they're still gonna be, you know, with an attitude, and we just have to ignore that. One of my friends who no longer works at Publix told me this, and then one of my other friends who I was actually with them today, they were telling me how this was really bothering them, but there was nothing that they could do. And I just never genuinely believed that. What do you mean there's nothing you can do? There's always something that can be done. So one of my friends who currently doesn't work at Publix anymore, he wasn't getting treated very nice by the customers, and truthfully, especially if you work in the customer service department, and that includes cashiers, baggers, and customer service staff, it takes a toll on you when the customers don't treat you good, because that's who you deal with all day. So he no longer works at Publix because honestly, the customers weren't treating him that good, and he wasn't too happy with his hours. And before he even tried anything, because he texted me and was like, Patricia, you know, what should I do? And I was like, before you quit, do this, this, this. He made a drastic decision before anyone could help him. Okay. He might be in one of my future videos. I'm not sure, but I think he might regret his decision a little bit, because I told him how he could have worked his way around it. But in the moment, I understand he was also going through his things and he just wanted a break from everything. I'm always a big fan of like, don't make a big decision on temporary emotions. And that's just kind of like how it played out for him. But he was having lots of trouble with customers because he would take things to heart. You know, anything that a customer could say as a joke, he took it to heart, and it was affecting his mental health. Now, one of my other friends who I was with today was telling me how some customers can be a little rude and that he hates having to be there and being like, okay, no problem. Okay, sorry about that. And in my head, I'm just like, but where do you guys get this from? Like in my head, I'm like, but who said that that is how you have to act? So I understand that Publix kind of looks for a type to hire. Even though they might say they don't, I do think they try to hire people who with a good attitude and stuff, because I just think any company is gonna try to hire someone with a good attitude. But it does not mean that you have to kiss up to anyone. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we're all the same. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you're a bagger, a cashier, a customer service staff. No one should intimidate anybody. I know sometimes the baggers are intimidated by the customer service staff. Why? Because we can kind of like tell people what to do in a sense, but I never try to be that person. Like I'm always trying to be so cool with my baggers. I mean, especially with the younger baggers who this is their first job and they get intimidated easily by anyone. Like those are the people that I try to be cool with, because I don't want no one to feel intimidated or scared in their workplace. Okay, like I said, we're all the same. Intimidation shouldn't be a thing. No one should feel intimidated. You dealing with a customer who's being hateful shouldn't mean that because I work at Publix, I just gotta be like, okay. No. And like, I'm sorry, because I genuinely don't know what Publix's take on this is. And this is completely just based off of like my opinion and stuff I've gone through. But like, I've also had customers who aren't the most pleasant, I guess. Thankfully, I haven't dealt with no one too bad, because I know a lot of my coworkers have. Thankfully, I haven't, but maybe I haven't because I put a stop to things when I see that someone's getting rowdy. And no, it doesn't always work out the way you plan it. Sometimes customers will get more rowdy if you start to, you know, put your foot down a little bit, but sometimes it is needed. And truthfully speaking, I don't think it is wrong. I don't care who you work for. I don't think it's wrong to voice your opinion. And if a customer is saying, oh man, you didn't do this right, what is wrong with you? For you to be like, sir, I'm sorry, but give me 1 second. You told me this, I went to get, you know, you can't just be like, oh my God, I did it wrong. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry, I'm gonna go get it. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, you don't have to do all that. You could be like, give me 1 second, sir. Let me go see what I can do. You know, you don't have to sit here and kiss butt all day. You don't. You have to give a little bit of your personality. I've had one, hold on. I've had multiple guys, or people in general, just come up to me while I'm in customer service and ask me for something, and I just can't hear them because I can't hear too well from this ear. So I'll be like, can you repeat yourself? And sometimes I gotta ask 2 or 3 times, or especially when I got like 5 different customers at the same time, sometimes it gets overwhelming. And I've had a guy ask me, oh my God, are you hard of hearing? And I'm like, yeah, I am on this ear. How can I help you? You're not about to sit here and intimidate me. You're not about to sit here and make me feel bad. Is my hearing a little less here? It is, but how can I help you? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I just can't hear you. Like, I just can't, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just tell you straight up. And you don't have to say that. You could have just been like, how can I help you, sir? I could not hear you. You know, you don't have to do this whole peppy thing every single time if someone's disrespecting you. And there's a way to be respectful. You're saying, how can I help you? What is disrespectful about that? But you need to step your foot down and not sit here and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry. You know, that's not what Publix wants either. I don't think that's what Publix wants. Publix wants truthful, honest customers, truthful, honest workers, and you kissing someone's butt is not being truthful or honest. So I'm pretty sure this video is going to be more useful to people who just started working at the store, might be a little intimidated by somebody, for people who are maybe tired of working on the store because they feel like they have to kiss people's butt, because that's literally like the most responses I've gotten. You know, like my friend who doesn't work there at Publix anymore, that was his biggest thing. He was like, I'm just tired, like I couldn't do it. And like I already explained his situation. I understand it was a little different. I don't think he should have quit, but that was on him, and maybe he'll come on here one day and explain that side of the story. My other friend who still works in the company is just fed up with the way customers are treating him. And like I said, even though I'm located in a pretty good Publix, there's still customers who obviously feel entitled. The Publix I work at, I do think it does financially well. Like the people around the store do financially well. So maybe it's a little bit more upscale. Not the actual store, because honestly it's one of the stores who just started getting renovated. So it's a pretty old Publix, but the people around it are pretty upscale. They might feel a little bit entitled, and some of my bagger friends just feel some type of way, you know? Like some of these customers are like, you can't do it right. Some of these customers can get racist. Some of these customers can just do the wrong thing, and it like literally boils my blood, you know? Like I go crazy. But sometimes I'm not always there, and I'm only one person, and people have to speak up for themselves and defend themselves, and people around you should also speak up and defend. So I encourage you that even though it might not be your specific situation, if you see someone doing the wrong thing and they're not speaking up for themselves, help that person out, because you're just trying to better the future for people around like you. So try to be the change, be the positive change. I think this video could be helpful for multiple people, multiple companies. My minors out here, we're all equal. Don't feel a certain type of way. People who are baggers and they're a little older, if this is your future, this is what your future is. I mean, everyone can pick their future. If this is what you wanted, why is there something wrong with that? Don't let anyone make you feel like you're less because, oh, I'm a bagger. Oh, I gotta kiss so-and-so's butt. Oh, they told me I did this wrong, so I gotta sit here and apologize for 10 minutes straight. You have to put your foot down, and you have to deal with these customers in a respectful way, but in a way where they're not disrespecting you. Because the minute they disrespect you, you could be like, hold on, sir, you're getting a little rowdy. Let me go get a customer. Hold on, sir, I see that you're getting a little rowdy, or I see that you don't like the way I'm taking care of you, so let me go get you a manager. That's what you do. Pass the stress on to the managers, you know? Stop trying to play superhero, and it's affecting your health. A lot of the kids who are like cashiers and baggers are in school. Don't let this affect your school. Honestly, like, just deal with the customers the best you can, and if you can't, get a manager. You don't have to kiss no one's butt where it makes you feel like you're less of a person, because you're not. And a lot of times these customers don't even have all that much going for themselves. They're just putting up a front and think that you're less than them, when in reality, you're more than them. Because if you have a better attitude, who cares what that person is driving? Who cares what position that person has? Your attitude is what makes you in life. So if you have a negative attitude, you're just a negative person, and like, I don't want to be around that. So with that being said, I'm just going to conclude today's video. It was more of like an uplift, y'all. Like, you know, you got this. Be positive, be sure of yourself. It was just kind of like more motivational. And with that being said, I'll see y'all in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think I'm gonna do a part 2 to this, where I explain how rude customers can really get. I know a lot of times I paint this beautiful picture about Publix, and it truthfully is, but there's certain things that aren't so beautiful, and I only strive to prepare you guys for that on my channel. And not just at Publix, just anywhere you go. If you go to Costco, if you go to Aldi's, this stuff just prepares you to be successful in all those companies. So that's all I'm trying to do. If I only paint this perfect, beautiful picture for you guys, the day something bad happens, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I wasn't ready for this. So I want to give you the good and the bad, which is not really bad, and it's not really the company's fault that customers are like this, but this just happens to you when you work retail, is that you deal with some customers who are just. So I'm gonna, like I said, share some experiences, share some stories in my part 2, but in today's video, it was more like, no, do not feel belittled. It was like a lift up, you know? I'll see you on my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.